I was thinking about it, and I think Venom is the one who should have stayed in, and you should have taken out Sandman because...
In the comics, they refuse to keep Mary Jane and Peter together. It's just like, keep them together. I want to see them happy.
They're happy in the game that you refuse to play as well. They are.
They're not. They're not.
You've got a good point.
Recently, you had a little bit of controversy, and I think we should talk about it.
The whole plagiarism controversy. You're trash, whatever that guy's name is. Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of the CG Wired podcast. I am once again joined by my good buddy, Golden Tin. How are you, mate?
Hey man, how's it going? We made it to episode 3.
We have indeed. Who'd have thought we'd make it this far?
I didn't think so.
I had zero faith in us, but we did it. Now, today, we are going to do Spider-Man 3. Now, to be honest, we should probably come up with like a consistent series of videos we're going to do, because we went from Pirates of the Caribbean to Spider-Man 3. We probably should have finished Pirates of the Caribbean and then done Spider-Man 1, 2 and 3.
Look, it's episode 3. We're doing Spider-Man 3.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, what I like about Spider-Man 3 is that I used to be a disgusting contrarian who just disagreed with everything people said to me and always liked the thing that no one liked because I wanted to be cool and interesting. And I grew up and I stopped doing that. But you are still a disgusting contrarian. And I reckon you like Spider-Man 3 because of that. Oh, it's my favourite one.
I'm not a contrarian. Okay, these are my own views. They're correct. I do like Spider-Man 3. It's not the best one. Grow up.
Okay, good.
Number 2, number 1, number 3. That's my
I think I agree with that. I also like Spider-Man 3, but I would also say it's probably the worst.
Oh, so what was the point of that start at the beginning there, making fun of me like that?
Because I totally thought you'd go, no, actually Spider-Man 3 is my favourite because I thought that would be your whole view on it.
This is all because I like Iron Man 3. This is where all of this is coming from. Just because I like Iron Man 3, I'm suddenly the lover of bad movies. Huh?
Do you like it more than Iron Man 1?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, that's fine. You think it's better than 2?
I feel like I remember really disliking number 2, but maybe I'll give it another chance.
I think 2 definitely has issues, right? I don't remember either of them well enough. I think 3 is probably more fun, and 2 is probably a better movie overall. I'm going to assume. From my memory.
I think all 3 of them are probably good in some way. Much like Spider-Man, the Spider-Man trilogy.
Well, yes. Well, I don't know. I was thinking about Spider-Man 3 today, and I actually had a lot of... I don't know, I ended up coming out with quite a lot of negative things. The more I thought about it, I was like, actually, there's a lot of problems in this film.
There are problems. I'm not going to pretend there aren't problems.
Yeah, but I do want to preface that I do actually like it, right? I do think it's genuinely fun. It's a really nice movie. It looks good as well, but I feel... I don't even know if Spider-Man 3 needs to exist, was what I was thinking today. Spider-Man 1, you have Peter Parker's, he gets his powers, it's the origin story, you need that one. Spider-Man 2 kind of takes all the themes of 1, he's got to be a secret guy so his family doesn't get killed. He can't get MJ because of that and all this stuff. He takes all those themes and runs them really far and does a really good story that wraps up in the end with him teaching lessons to Dr. Octopus and beating him, blah, 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 blah. Where do you go from there with 3?
Well, a third one had to happen, let's be honest, because that film did really well. That made bank.
Right. Yeah, 2. Okay.
So they were always going to make a third one. And I don't know, there was definitely potential in this film for it to be really good. I think it's quite well known it was studio pressure that kind of ruined it by forcing in too many plot lines and villains and stuff like that.
So was really Venom...
wanted Venom.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Venom was the one they added in, right? He's the addition from the studio.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, and I think Venom is the one who should have stayed in, and you should have taken out Sandman and Goblin.
Yeah, I think one of them could have you could have gotten away with 2. But
yes, yeah, that's fine.
One of the 3 needed to go.
But Probably I think there's... Who would you take? Sandman?
Yeah.
Okay, I would have taken out Goblin. But I also think Sandman's kind of irrelevant. You could do this film with just Venom. I feel like Venom, the story of Venom kind of adds up to everything the film builds to. Because the whole film's about Peter Parker's ego getting out of hand, right? And that sort of manifests Venom through his actions, and then he has to beat Venom as his learning arc for this movie, right?
Yeah,
that he's not untouchable anymore. And I feel like neither Sandman or the Goblin feed into that narrative. And so why I would cut the Goblin is because you could tell the entire Harry story without needing him to have superpowers and fight Peter Parker. Like the entire thing. Because like Harry's arc, right, it's just to sort of die in this movie after being angry at Peter Parker. And then sort of, so he can blame Peter Parker for killing his dad. And he can still come and redeem himself and save Peter Parker in the end in some way from Venom. He could just like bang some poles together and save him, right? And in the end, he can still die in doing that. And you have his entire arc. So you don't need to go through all this complicated stuff of like, he becomes Green Goblin and then he gets amnesia and then he does like this weird stealing Mary Jane meta game thing. And then he has another fight with Peter and then he comes back at the end and saves him. You could save like 30 minutes of like Harry's story and just have him be angry at him. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, but that's boring. This makes for much more interesting, I think, just like a more fun, interesting film, I would say.
Okay, so you would keep that, and then what? You take out Sandman?
Well, just because if you kept him like powerless, it would just be like a lot of conversations with Peter, and these films have a lot of conversations, which is good, but it doesn't need more.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's a superhero film. People want to see some action, and I'd cut out Sandman because Sandman has no build up. It needed this Venom, but like if we're gonna pick one of them, you know, Venom's more iconic. Even though Sandman in this film is the best villain out of all of them.
Well, you think he's better than Doc Ock, or do you mean best in this film?
In this film,
he is the best. But I also feel like this is my criticism of Sandman is that like his whole plot line's kind of just manufactured, isn't it? Like for some reason they had to do that. I know it's a meme at this point, but every villain has a personal connection to Tobey Maguire, right? Like, and they just forced one into this movie. Like Sandman actually was the guy who killed his dad, step uncle, whatever. But Ben. Also they kind of like give it a massive cop out because it's like, oh, it was an accident. He didn't mean to kill him. The gun went off in his hand. And also it was for his daughter who's unwell. And therefore Peter can forgive him and like close off that arc. You know, I thought it's good. It is good. It's nice. It's really high quality for a film about a guy in underwear fighting people with spider powers, right? It's really nice. Yeah. But it's also kind of manufactured. And I feel like you can take all of that out and the movie would be fine.
Yeah, but he has his whole like revenge thing when he thinks he's killed Sandman in the black suit, and then I remember he goes to Aunt May and he like kind of says like talks about the guy dying or whatever, and she's not happy about it or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So he kind of has his revenge in a way, and then
revenge
is bad. It's what this kind of film I think is what it's getting at. Revenge is bad.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. I think that's ultimately what this film's getting at.
I guess so. I suppose so. I sort of didn't think about the whole scene with Aunt May.
These films did Aunt May the best. Aunt May's never been better than in these films.
I guess so. Is she still alive, the lady who plays?
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Wait, how old was she at the time? Like, just 50 and aged badly? Because she must be like
grey hair.
Old now. Okay, wow. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch a lot of Spider-Man, but it's kind of I've forgotten all of it. That makes sense? So like my main memory of Spider-Man as a kid is these films, even though I watched that whole cartoon that came out in the 90s. That was really good. That was just like marketing for other Marvel. Did you watch that cartoon? It was just marketing for other Marvel properties.
Spider-Man, the animated series? No, it was not. Yes, there was
the animated series. Not always Spider-Man. Like the one that was on when we were kids, where Peter Parker was like way too buff to be some nerdy kid.
Yeah, the animated series, yeah.
Is that what it's called? Like, okay, the first season is just like Spider-Man doing stuff. And then after that, it's like, oh, here's Daredevil. Here's this character. Here's this character. It's constant. Here's the X-Men. Like, it's constant crossover events to get people to watch other Marvel properties. Well, it is cool. It is
Only X-Men had a show. And there was like a little Avengers one that no one watched. That's it.
Really?
So it's
there was an Avengers cartoon when we were kids.
Yeah.
Was it rubbish or was it actually quite good?
People hated it, yeah. And it had like...
Why?
It had like all the B team. It was no like Captain America and Thor and Iron Man were just not even in the show.
Really? Why? Was it because someone who didn't have the rights made it or what?
Probably could have been a rights thing. But also, the Avengers weren't as popular back then. Let's be honest.
No, yeah. I don't want to pretend I'm some big comics guy who knows like the history and the lore of comics. I think you know a bit more than me. But like, were these big crossovers ever super popular? Or was it just like X-Men, Spider-Man, maybe a bit of Daredevil while like carrying it and everything else was just there?
Of course it was popular.
Was it really?
They did it in comics for like years.
Because I heard that Iron Man, I was always under the impression that Iron Man wasn't a big character and maybe even War Machine was bigger than him. And it was only when Iron Man came out and was a hit that Iron Man became the guy he is. You know, it was always Spider-Man who was the fun guy.
Iron Man had he had a show as well. He had a cartoon.
When we were kids.
Yeah, in like that same style.
Was it good?
It was pretty cool. I think I only saw a couple episodes, but who else had one?
Right.
Fantastic Four also had one.
Doctor Strange shows up in Spider-Man, the cartoon.
What's that?
Doctor Strange definitely shows up in that Spider-Man cartoon. I remember that.
He doesn't have a cartoon of his own though. Because who cares about Doctor Strange, man? No one actually cares about him. Or magic characters.
I thought the first Doctor Strange movie was quite good. It was like a generic Marvel film, but it was quite good for what it was.
Yeah, but did you want to go home and study up on Doctor Strange?
To be fair, with not many of those Marvel films did I go home and read about them. Only Iron Man was one of the few ones that really like made me think that guy's cool. Captain America I thought was really cool as well. But that's kind of it. Like Thor was never that interesting in the Marvel movies.
Well, I would say the Spider-Man movies got me into Spider-Man probably more than anything. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I think I was already in. I mean, Spider-Man was just the thing when we were kids, wasn't it? But it probably was these movies that shoved it into the foreground. Because that's something I was thinking about earlier, actually, is like Spider-Man 3 came out, what, 2005? So I was like 7. Oh, really? Okay, well, I was like 9 then when these came out. So to me, there's always been a Spider-Man 3. Like, it's just been a thing, right? You know what I mean? And that's why I was sat there thinking earlier, like, is it necessary that Spider-Man 3 exists? Is it actually needed? Because I've never once questioned its existence. It's like I said with Pirates of the Caribbean last week, where they were just there. Is it needed? Do we need Spider-Man 3?
You're asking the important questions here. Hard-hitting questions. Do we need Spider-Man 3? Well, do we need Spider-Man 2? Like, Spider-Man 1 ended quite nicely. We could have just
we need Spider-Man 2.
Why?
Yes,
we didn't need a sequel.
Because it perfectly expands on everything the first one establishes, like I said earlier. Like,
yeah, the third one could have expanded upon that, but it just fell flat.
Where would you have taken Peter Parker after Spider-Man 2?
I don't know.
Why not? Why aren't you Sam Raimi?
I'm not the director here.
Okay. I think they did quite a good job to take the themes of Spider-Man 2 onwards by making it so that he's had all these struggles, he's overcome them, and now he's a bit of a dick. I liked that a lot. However, I thought it actually gets a bit muddled because he's a knob, right? He's not a very nice guy. Like with the whole how did that get in there and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, he gets a bit cocky. He
gets cocky and he also kisses Gwen when he shouldn't and all this stuff. But then I feel the plot kind of loses that when he gets the suit, because then it's almost like the suit is the reason he's being a dick. Like the suit expands his ego, makes him do dances and things like that, and makes him be all aggressive. But he was kind of going that way anyway. And then the way he solves that is by taking the suit off. And that's almost like the end of his ego arc. You know what I mean? Like that's just the ego is over with now.
Yeah.
And he has to deal with the consequences of that. And I feel that kind of doesn't do too much justice to the overall plot of Peter Parker in this movie, because it's almost like he just solves it by taking the suit off. Whereas in the previous movies, he sort of solved it internally, then took it to the villain and beat the villain by his internal struggle being solved. Does that make sense? Like with Spider-Man 2, he beats Doc Ock because he solves his internal struggle. In this one, the internal struggle gets warped into the symbiote, he takes it off, problem solved. You know? And it's just over the internal struggle arc.
Yeah, but I mean, he falls out with a lot of his, people close to him, and I think that's really what pushes him to change. And I think the suit is, you could just see it as like symbolism, really, of him changing or becoming better.
Okay, because what I would have done that I thought was quite, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, is because if you take out those two villains, like we said, you need to have a villain for most of the movie, right? And so if we say it's Venom, because he has to fight someone, or you keep one of them, have him fight him, but let's just say that it's only Venom, I would have Eddie get the suit very early, and then it's like Peter Parker with his ego competing against Eddie with his like escalating ego at both work and both as like a superhero. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's like the two front fight. So Peter Parker's ego is on the up, then Eddie comes in, kind of damages it, and then maybe Peter has the suit for a bit and he does some bad stuff, he takes it off, Eddie gets the suit for a bit, and he starts to beat Peter. In the end, Peter has to like overcome his ego to defeat Eddie without the suit. I feel that kind of is a bit more of a contained narrative in terms of all the themes it has going on. The problem that leaves you is though, then you have to deal with Harry, MJ, all those people, and like all the inertia from the previous movies that's flowing into this one.
Yeah. The side characters, you've got to do something with them.
Because like if you cut out the Green Goblin, in my little theory, the last movie ends with Harry becoming the Green Goblin, or at least finding it. So you've got to like juggle that, and still, if you still want his arc where he like saves him and then gets killed, you have to somehow go from like, he finds out his dad's the Green Goblin, but he's still annoyed with Spider-Man, but he doesn't get superpowers, but blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It just gets a bit messy. So I feel like the fact that this is the third one means they have to carry so many strings over.
Yeah.
And that's why perhaps just deleting Sandman from the movie is fine. Because like by keeping him in, they then have to like make new strings for him by making him related.
Sure.
And it just becomes a mess, right? Like it just gets all over the place.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, I mean, there's like arguments that Eddie is already kind of like a darker reflection of Peter in this film.
Oh yeah, right.
They could have gone like the whole hog with that, but they reference it a little bit. They sprinkle it in, and it's same with even Harry is almost a dark reflection of Peter because he's like, oh, he's lost his father / father figure or whatever.
Right.
He turns evil, and then you got Eddie who's like. Because normally in the comics, Eddie's like this big buff guy, but here they do kind of make him like just another Peter Parker, you know, like he's like a scrawny kind of guy.
Oh, so he's supposed to be like what was going to happen, maybe like a cautionary tale almost. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting.
He's a photographer. He's trying to get his girl. He cheats at the Bugle, which Peter does cheat because he uses his like Spider-Man privilege to take pictures of himself.
That's a really good point. Well, this is something I was thinking actually. Like, Eddie Brock's supposed to be the bad guy or whatever. Is he though? Like, until he gets the suit and becomes evil very quickly, which we'll talk about. Like, Spider-Man smashes up his camera. Like, he's a dick. Like, and so Eddie Brock kind of wants to expose him. And yeah, he cheats and he shouldn't have done it how he did it. But like, Spider-Man actually attacks him first, and then Peter Parker just gets away with that. Like Peter Parker gets to keep his job. There's no consequence. Eddie Brock then does this, like the photoshopping, gets in trouble for that, then goes on his villain arc. But Peter Parker kind of causes all of that, right? And gets not much comeuppance for it.
Well, you could actually argue that the symbiote is what's causing Peter to act this way. And then the symbiote is what is, I don't know, attacking Eddie. And then he joins with the symbiote to attack Peter when it wasn't even Peter because the symbiote was making him smash the camera and be a dick in the Bugle, you know?
Yeah, but like, I guess so. Yeah, I feel like Eddie also just turns to the dark side way too quick. Like Peter Parker's manifestation of evil is like, he's a bit cocky and he dances funny and he slowly gets more and more aggressive. Whereas Eddie Brock's just like, okay, I'm going to murder this guy. It's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he goes
really
to church
quick.
and like prays that he is killed. He goes to church and prays that Peter is killed. Like that's mad.
Well, he does that before the symbiote. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's very fine.
So is Eddie Brock just a nutter or what? Like, it's just all a bit quick, isn't it?
Well, he's really down on his luck. Again, like Peter is often down on his luck, but he never resorts to wanting to murder people.
Oh, wow, yeah. Yeah,
or pray to murder them, unless it's Sandman, I guess.
That's actually a really good point, because again, all this argues towards removing Sandman, doesn't it? Like, he has none of this, actually. Like, if you could expand on everything you just said on Eddie Brock, you have a much better film. Then cut out Sandman, give Eddie this arc where he's a dark image of Peter. It's a way more interesting film. But I like Sandman.
But I like Sandman too. Sandman kind of gets his powers like Spider-Man. He gets in a random kind of scientific accident, doesn't he? And then he uses them to steal. Because he's poor, like Peter. I mean, there's parallels here between all three of them and Peter.
I would guess, what could you have done to improve Sandman then? If you say let's say we make Spider-Man 4 and we take whatever story Sandman's supposed to represent and put it in Spider-Man 4, how could you make a whole movie out of him? How could you expand him to work?
Go back to the first film and retroactively put him in that film. If he'd been there, like it would have helped a lot. But because they kind of just retcon it. I don't know.
It's just never going to work, is it?
If you'd removed any one of these villains to give more time to another one, they probably could be fine. I do think 2 is good because if you have Venom, then you need Peter to fight someone in the black suit.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no villain throughout the entire film, you know?
It's kind of weird, actually. Like, Harry is like the most developed villain in this movie, and he's kind of the lamest as well. Like, no one's ever gone, oh, I love New Goblin. He's my favourite character. Why? What's he do?
That's contrarian. I love New Goblin. He's not my favourite character, but I love the New Goblin.
What's he do? That's cool.
I really like his outfit, you know. I feel like that would never be made today. Like, but that look is so, like, of the time. I really like it.
Flying space, like, surfboard thing as well. Like, it's so unnecessary. It's really sick, though.
And the whole fight scene at the first, that's like one of my favourite, like, comic book fight scenes ever, is when they fight in the
where
city.
He's chasing him.
Yeah.
What do you think of the CG in that sequence?
It's not awful. And probably at the time, like you said earlier, this film looks really good, even now.
It looks really good.
It looks weirdly good. Like, this could have been filmed recently, but it's not terrible, the CGI.
I will saw your face over the CGI in a bit. I have a lot of really good things to say about it. It's top-notch film.
I like it. The Sandman one, that's a bit more rough.
Well, which one? Which one?
Like, when he's giant.
No way. The chase looks way worse when they're having that. When they're like badly green screened against the night sky. Yeah, what's impressive, about the chase, which I think most people don't realise, is that they often CGI'd their faces with like completely CGI faces throughout that sequence. And you just don't notice that. You ever know that?
No.
It's really good. And I think it's because the background's so bad. You just sort of end up looking at the background going, that's bad. But their faces, I can't remember how often, are generally quite often CGI, which is good. And another time the CGI, I think not many people notice, is when Spider-Man's on the side of the building in the black suit, the one that's on all the marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's actually fully CGI there. You don't notice that at all.
Really? Okay.
If you look at it now, you'll see that he's a bit weightless. Like, he doesn't look right. Like, he moves a bit funky. But I think because we're so used to seeing it practically, and you just wouldn't expect that one to be CGI, and it does also look quite good, you just buy into it. But if you look at it now, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, the CGI throughout the film is pretty good. It's obviously aged, and that's fine. It's been years since that came out.
I think it holds up really well.
It holds up well.
Sorry,
am I making this up? You did a video on Sandman.
Did a whole video. Sandman's, I did a whole video on it. So I guess I shouldn't go into it too much. Sandman was a really, really impressive effect. It's like millions and millions of particles all talking to each other at once, trying to form these specific shapes. And what I found most impressive about Sandman, which is kind of hard to explain in my video, so maybe I can try it here, is like, you animate first, right? And then you do like the sand simulation over that, so all these bits fall off. But as they're animating, later on, they do the simulation, his arm would fall off. So the animators just had to like pre-animate into the future, thinking like, in 2 seconds, his arm's not going to weigh anything because it's all fallen off. And so they'd have to like, there's this really circular process of animate, simulate it, see that the weight's now wrong. So animate it again, simulate it again. And simulations take ages. So it must have taken a really long time to go through this iterative process of like trying to get Sandman to look good on camera.
Interesting. This podcast is educational.
The other one that I also think is good, and I don't remember anything I read about it, but I read all about it back in the day, was Venom is actually a really impressive thing. To do that effect where like the tentacles like move forwards. It's like that little little Venom goo blob. Yeah. That was really, really impressive, apparently. Like, it was a really intelligent bit of software, not software, but like algorithm they wrote to make it roll forwards. And what's really interesting about Spider-Man, as we say all the CGI is ahead of its time, is they used all the technology and all the tools that we use nowadays in visual effects, like back in 2007.
Wow.
So that's how ahead it was.
And the CGI these days, well, we know how we feel about that. We're not too keen.
Yeah, it's not as good as it.
But that Sandman scene where he gets his powers and he gets up and he's a Sandman. That's probably that's one of the best scenes in this movie. Like,
it might be one of the best scenes in all of the Raimi trilogy.
It might be. It's really good. No superhero film would have anything like that now.
Yeah, there's like no cuts. Like, there's like it goes from him growing. Like from a grain of sand all the way up to a full Sandman in like 15 seconds. Like, it's really good. It must take them so long to do.
There's no talking. Like, there's no ruining it with quips. Like, it's just, guess I'm a Sandman now. That's what he would say now.
Yeah. How do you feel about him coming back in No Way Home, the newer Tom Holland movie?
What, Sandman specifically, or all of them?
Well, I remember when we were watching the trailer for that, we were like, "Oh no, why is Sandman in this?" Because like all he cares about is like his kid, and he's in that movie, and he kind of is just bad for no real reason. I feel like he's just the bad guy.
He's just kind of fed up.
What a good motivation!
He wants to be out there. Like I remember when they kicks off in the flat, or whatever. He just is like, right, I'm off. He just dips. It's quite funny.
No, he comes back at the end though. They do the whole
he does.
Sandman.
But I'm saying, like after that fight, he just fades away. He doesn't hang around. He's like, right, see ya.
I don't remember that. You know what? I know we try and talk positively about films, but when I first watched that film, I thought it was really good. I was like, oh, this is great. I think a lot of people had that reaction. Oh, it's fun. It's good to see the Raimi characters again. Andrew Garfield's getting redemption. That's nice. You watch it again without any of the nostalgia, without any of like the this is cool in your mind. It's actually a shit movie. It's really shit.
I feel like I remember you hating that movie when you first saw it. Because I like it.
Have you watched it since?
I've already said no, I'm not.
Yeah, okay. Watch it again and you'll ruin it for yourself. So don't do that. But like honestly, again, sort of all the cracks start to show. Like I can't remember any of them now though, but like
oh, we can't remember any of them.
Yeah. We can do a video on it. How about that?
All right, we'll do a follow-up.
Our Minecraft style fights over No Way Home.
Oof. Well, Sandman in that, it's a shame he's sand in the whole thing. I always headcanon that he was like mutating or something and like he was turning into sand.
Oh, that's cool. That's quite cool. I think it's just because the actor, right? I think he's a lot older. You have to de-age him. It's just easier to make a man of sand, which is kind of crazy to think about, really. That like making Sandman's easier than making a guy younger.
I think it's because of COVID.
Was it?
Yeah, that's why the lizard is also like not in the film as the guy.
Well, they just didn't want people on set.
I guess so.
Did they not have like a stand-in, or was he like a COVID trained stand-in? Maybe. Like,
I just think COVID was just like we don't want people around.
Oh wow! Oh okay, I didn't know that because there's that one shot at the end where you do see him, and it's actually they took a shot from Spider-Man 3 and edited it into that movie, which I didn't notice till people pointed out. But then if you look at it, it's like, oh yeah, it's just the same. Like it's quite good though.
Yeah, they did it. That is good. Like there's some trickery there.
Have you seen the deleted scene from Spider-Man 3 of Sandman as a sandcastle talking to his daughter?
Yeah, I have.
I like that scene. I think I would have kept that in the movie. I think it's really good. It's like 2 minutes long, and it does a lot for Sandman.
Well, we needed to see more of Emo Peter.
Right, here's my defense.
What do you think of Emo Peter?
I have defense for Emo Peter because I think a lot of dorky guys who, if they woke up tomorrow with infinite confidence, would do stuff like that. And here's my proof. Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, when they get on a stage and they try and be cool and interesting and they're really goofy. Like the Zuck's rebrand is like, he's trying to be cool, but he still doesn't have it.
Well, it's very true, but with Mark Zuckerberg, I feel like it's just the look. Like he's just made himself look kind of cool. He's not acting goofy, but Elon Musk does act cringe sometimes on like stage and stuff like that. And I don't, I'm not a big like hater of him or whatever, but he acts really cringe.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like he's a guy who, you see those old videos where he's really dorky. And the last few years he's tried to become cooler. Like he's tried to like do a Zuck rebrand almost, but without the physical side of it, just like a personality rebrand. And it comes across like Peter Parker. Like it's just like kind of lame, kind of cringe. This is what a nerdy guy's version of a confident guy is. And that's what Peter Parker kind of turns into, is letting out his inner like cool guy. Manifest. Do you not think if you woke up, I think if I woke up tomorrow with infinite confidence and like zero voice in my head saying this is a bad idea, I would do things like that too. Not go around hitting women, obviously, but I think I would dress in a funky way that'd be lame. And I think I would do stupid things that I thought were cool to look cool. Do you not think that?
Would you start dancing on tables?
I think I would. I genuinely think I would. If I had like unlimited what would you do? Unlimited confidence and a bit of delusion.
I would wake up the next day and I think I'd actually shave my head. Buzz cut.
Right. Why?
Because I just have the confidence. I don't care. I look great with a buzz cut is what I'll be thinking when I really do.
That's what I thought. And then turns out I was wrong.
Sorry, that wasn't an indirect. That wasn't like an at at you. That was a
subtle dig, wasn't it?
That wasn't a dig at you.
Listen, okay. Little GT here is one of my best buddies. And I don't care at all about fashion, but GT does. And so whenever I do anything, like buy a shirt or an article of clothing of any kind, or shave my head, I asked GT for his opinion. And when I sent him a picture of it, he didn't say, "Oh, that looks good." He didn't say, "Oh, why, what, anything like that." He just said, "Why have you done that?"
Well, why
Brutal.
would you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to lie to you? Do you want me to lie to you?
I'd like you to sugarcoat it a bit. I'd like you to go like, "Oh, you should do this, mate." Like maybe next time go a bit longer. Like
there's nothing you can do with a buzz cut. What I'm telling you now in front of all these thousands of people watching, like, grow your hair out a bit longer.
Thanks.
Do the Mark Zuckerberg rebrand. Do the Mr. Beast rebrand. Have you seen his
we just discussed how the Mark Zuckerberg rebrand hasn't actually worked. I don't think it's worked. He always referenced this. He looks better, but he's still a dork. He's still a dork.
Would you rather he has the short hair grey t-shirt?
I kind of rate... Look, listen. I'm sat here in my little stupid hat and my black t-shirt. I rate grey t-shirt Mark Zuckerberg.
Did you know those shirts are like really expensive?
What, does he get them custom made or something?
Yeah, he's got he had loads of them because he didn't want to think about getting dressed, so he just has like a cupboard, I guess, full of them.
I think it's a good idea. I was thinking, right, should I just buy like 100 black shirts? Because every time I want to film a video, I have to like go and find a black shirt. I have like 4. I have to go find it, iron it, get it ready, blah, 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 blah. If I just had 100 black shirts in the wardrobe, they'd always be ready. I could just sit in front of the camera and start talking.
Well, why don't you go to cgy.com and buy
make a black t-shirt?
Some
That's
merch.
such a good idea, actually. Why aren't you running this? You have all the good ideas.
Where can they find this merch?
Okay, I'm going to make terrible black t-shirt merch and put it on my terrible little website. That's a great idea. If you want a shit black shirt, probably made in China, go to cgy.com. That's why the word.
You could dress like Mark Zuckerberg. You can dress like CGY.
Yeah. What would be my glow up outfit when I get the black suit? How would I I look?
Grow the hair out.
No, mate. Well, hang on. I've got the black suits. I've got short hair because I got it tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
I've done subsequent shaves, by the way, since that time.
I think I noticed last week when you took your hat off, I was like, "Oh, he's topped it up. He's not letting it
was
grow
a disappointment." I thought you'd be proud of me for trying something confident. You know what I mean? Like, actually, I tried something. Usually there's nothing, and I tried, and it's still not good enough for you.
You are your own hair's biggest hater. I won't lie. Like, you hate your own hair. You talk about how bad it looks all the time. So you know what? Good for you. Just get rid of it, mate.
I just can't get it looking good on camera. That's the problem, right? Like, I feel like you can set up lights in front of you and the lights go through your hair and then reveal your forehead and you look really stupid, to be honest. Like, it's really quite difficult to get right. What we'll do, I bet our tens of listeners want to see this. We could do a real life grooming thing. You can wear a bag over your head or a little golden tin so no one knows who you are, and you can cut my hair. How about that?
You want me? We'll be in real life. And I'll cut you always cut your hair.
yeah, why not? If you've got such a problem with the buzz cut.
Bear in mind, I've got zero barber knowledge. I mean, I could put product in your hair, but you'd have to have hair to begin with.
Right, so I should grow my hair out so that then you can put product in it.
Oh, CGY makeover.
I want to do this just so I can buy you a little golden tin prop to wear on your head to cover your identity. Okay, sick.
Mr. Beast style makeover for CGY.
What was his I saw he got buff. What was his makeover?
He had like a hood makeover, like Zuck.
A hood makeover? Do you think he got inspired by the Zuck? Or did he come first?
I think so. I think
that's crazy. Because Mr. Beast, I think, is a numbers guy. And he sits and looks at data. So he must have actually looked at data of like the Zuck approval rating going up with the rebrand.
He kind of is like Mark Zuckerberg of YouTube.
Yeah, he is. He's in a soulless villain way or in the just dorky guy who did well for himself way?
Ooh. I think dorky guy who did well for himself. Much like Peter Parker.
Yeah, should we go back to Spider-Man? That was a tangent. Jesus. Yeah, so what else is there with Spider-Man to talk about?
Well, what would you have done with a 4th film?
Me personally. Yeah, this is the thing. This is what I mean. I don't know how much it left. So the one problem is I don't remember enough of Spider-Man from when I was a kid. But I feel like 2 kind of does the core Spider-Man arcs. You know what I mean? Like, his love life being in tatters, his real life being in tatters, Spider-Man eating his identity, he can't go to university, blah, 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 blah. That's done. Like, what else is there left to tell with a Spider-Man story?
I think they needed to do more with... they could have completed him and Mary Jane's arc and actually have them like get married or something. Like,
yeah,
that would have been nice. Because in the third film, they just kind of reconcile a little bit. You don't really know what happens.
How does the second one ends with her abandoning her husband at the altar and coming to Peter, right? That's actually a question I want to ask. Is Mary Jane like a terrible person? I know it's like a meme from these films that she's not actually that great, but I think she's actually not, right? Like, she kisses Spider-Man when she's a boyfriend. She abandons the next one at the altar, which is a jilting, which is pretty dodgy. And then, like he's also like an astronaut who's really famous, and all the media's there. But it's so romantic that she leaves him for Peter Parker, and it's like, it's actually not. It's not like it's probably millions of dollars went into that wedding, and she just runs away all happy. Like, yeah. And then in this movie, I can't remember. I don't know. Is she in the wrong or not in this movie? At the start.
Yeah, there is a big meme that she's like a horrible person throughout these films. And I mean, kind of. I guess she's had a really bad home life as well. That kind of just gets forgotten about a little bit.
There's lots of people who ship him, Peter Parker, with the woman in the flat, I've forgotten her name, and also the woman at the Daily Bugle. I've forgotten her name as well. And do you ship them way more than Peter and Mary Jane?
No, I'm a big Peter, Mary Jane enjoyer.
Really? Yeah. But why? This film gives you this whole trilogy gives you very little meat from that. Like, they're just sort of meant to be. And you're meant to buy into it. But I don't know, man.
I think the first film does it quite nice and organically, but I would say that's the comics side kind of creeping into me, because you don't know this, but like in the comics, they refuse to keep Mary Jane and Peter together.
Remember in that cartoon, like, she just disappears into a wormhole, and it's just like, that's the end of that relationship or something. And then she comes back later, but she's actually Sandman or something. Like, it's just, they never actually reconcile that, I don't think.
I remember that. She comes back as Hydro Man, or like she's made of water or something like that. Because for some reason, little trivia for you, Sandman was not allowed to be used in that show. I don't know why.
Really?
So they used Hydro Man instead as like the replacement.
Does Hydro... I actually don't know Sandman's original origin. Does Hydro Man have his origin in the show? Or is
he's a guy made of water instead of sand. Like, but he has the same powers, but he's just water.
Oh, so he's an original character for that cartoon, but he's just Sandman.
He's not an original character. He's from the comics, but...
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah. The Hydro Man podcast.
Sorry, I offset you there. You're saying about Sandman not being in the cartoon.
I just was saying, I don't remember why that whole thing was really weird in the cartoon.
But that's reminiscent of the comics then, where like every comic they get together and they don't, and they get together and they don't.
Yeah, and it's just like, keep them together. I want to see them happy. I want to see them married.
Really?
That's why, going a little bit more off topic. Well, Spider-Verse.
Oh, they're not together for no discernible reason, by the way.
I don't hate them.
You haven't seen them? Have you seen them now?
Exactly. No, I haven't. Okay, I don't hate them.
Okay. Because that is almost like meant to be... They very much imply that the Peter Parker from another universe there is for the Raimi one. Or it's like meant to be a mirror universe. And they get together in the end of that film after breaking up again, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just like, can they just be happy?
They're happy in the game that you refuse to play as well. They are.
They're not.
They're not. You've got a good point. Is it just meant to be this eternal source of drama? Because it's one of like Peter Parker's big arcs is he can never get with Mary Jane.
I think this is the issue with never aging your characters, is that you have to kind of keep the status quo. So you can never have them advance. You can never have them get married, have kids. So
I know there's like a billion Spider-Men, because that's like the meme in Spider-Verse. But in like the core comics, does he just sort of stay 25 or what? Like,
yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually kind of sad, because I feel like an old Spider-Man could be really cool.
Definitely, and he's like, there's been parts where he'll be with her, he'll be like a CEO of a company, be really successful, because you want to see him do well in life. Yeah,
after all this, maybe that's what I do with Spider-Man 4. I'd have him be doing well. I know they do that in this one for a bit and then it goes wrong, but I'd have him doing really well for a while, perhaps, because he's had a pretty crappy life so far.
Yeah, I'd like to see him just doing well for himself, getting out of that flat that he lives in, that awful looking flat.
Yeah, yeah.
Having a place,
he gets his door fixed.
Gets his door fixed. And just doing all right. That's what I would like. That's honestly what I'd like to see.
That's so sweet. That's what you want. It's just him to be happy for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But I guess then there's no film, right? Like, because these Spider-Man, what I like about the Spider-Man movies is it's definitely more about interpersonal drama. I think modern superhero movies have become more and more and more about, they're a superhero. Like, this thing I really don't like in the modern Marvel films is they'll go like, they really, I don't use the word goon, but I can't think of a better one. They really goon over the concept of the Avengers. Like, it's like, oh, I'm an Avenger now. It's like, why are we making such a big deal out of this thing? You know what I mean? Like this title, this right as, oh, I'm an Avenger. Whereas really it's all about Iron Man's good because of the interpersonal drama. Spider-Man's good because of the interpersonal drama. But like the superhero element of it is kind of irrelevant, which is what makes these good.
Yeah, there's a lot of soul to the Spider-Man films.
Yeah, which is definitely
Marvel
missing
films.
in the Tom Holland ones. Like I really don't care about much of the soul in those movies.
Yeah, I can't lie. They're not great. I think everyone really loved the first one, which when I saw it, I was like, okay, this is good. But people were like, this is the best Spider-Man film. It's like, no, it's absolutely not.
The best bit of the Tom Holland movies is when he gets crushed in his old suit. He's not in the Spider-Man, Tony Stark suit. He's in his old crappy suit that he made himself, and he gets crushed by that building by the Vulture, and he has to like lift it off of him. That's the best bit of all of those films. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's from the comics.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then maybe that's why then. Interesting. Yeah, otherwise the Tom Holland ones are kind of boring, in my opinion. The second one's actually terrible. Like it's like such a shockingly bad movie, the second one. The third one's fine, it's just all over the place and carried by nostalgia. And the first one is definitely the best of those three. And in regards to your question on Spider-Man 4, that does remind me that I do really like the direction they were going in with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in the new Tom Holland Spider-Man, where he's like angrier and more aggressive. And maybe that's what I'd like to see with Spider-Man 4, perhaps. You could have Peter Parker make it, like we said, like he's actually happy for like the first 25 minutes of the movie. Something really bad happens, Mary Jane dies or whatever. I know you don't want that, but let's just say that happens.
Whoa,
you have a time jump. Well, listen, I'm trying to make stakes here. Think about the trailer. It'd be a good trailer, right? She dies. And then you have a time jump and he's all fucked up and he's like angry and fighting people. And maybe then you could have Sandman be the bad guy and it turns out he killed his dad and now Peter Parker's all angry. Although I guess that's kind of what's going on in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah, that sounds awful. Don't let CGI cook with Spider-Man. And I like how you bring up the trailer. That's such a YouTuber mindset.
When I was watching Spider-Man 3, there was loads of moments I thought, this looks good in the trailer. Oh, I can't remember any of them now. Obviously, the black suit looks really good in the trailer, but there was like lines and moments that I thought like, that's a trailer moment. But they're blanking to me now. I should have written them down. But I thought there was a lot of things that happen. Harry chasing Spider-Man, that looks good in the trailer. And I feel like they had all these villains to have a cool trailer. Like imagine you just watch Spider-Man 2. It's great. You think, how can they top this? Spider-Man 3's trailer comes out. There's 3 bad guys now. You're like, whoa! You know?
Whoa! I mean, as a child, I would have loved it. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this film did well, somewhat financially.
I think it did really, really well. What did they not make Spider-Man for?
I think this film just probably got a lot of hate. I doubt it didn't. It definitely didn't make as much money as the second one. And I think everyone just hated it. And this was back when people like, if everyone hates a film franchise, it will just die. Now it's like, they don't care. If you hate the film, don't care. We're going to keep going, mate.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Like the momentum of the franchise just keeps things going. Whereas back in the day, that's a good point. And actually, I want to ask, a lot of those mid films in the early 2000s are now considered really good, I think, because they were special. Well, not special, but they were different and trying new things. And nowadays, films are a bit more formulaic. What's your thoughts on this film now versus 10, 15 years ago?
It's probably aging really well. It's probably aging like fine wine because you're going to compare it to modern day ones. And it just feels more like a film. Like it feels like a movie.
Yeah.
I think obviously there's some nostalgia.
Yeah. So do you think it would have aged that well if films were still as good? If we said films the quality of, let's say Spider-Man 1 coming out, your average superhero movie. Well, I mean, there was loads of crap ones back in the day, like Daredevil and all that. But you still had the occasional peaks, you know what I mean? Along with other rubbish ones. Would we look back on Spider-Man 3 favourably still? Or would we be like, that was a low?
I can still look at it favourably, I think. And again, I'm going to play the nostalgia card because I used to like this film a lot when I was little. I had the toys, played the games, stuff like that. So it's always gonna have a special place in my heart.
Okay. My next question then would be, is it being carried by the previous two? So if we just look at Spider-Man 1 and 2, take them away, Spider-Man 3 comes out as, I guess, like Spider-Man 1. I don't know how it works particularly. Let's say Spider-Man 1 is the quality of Spider-Man 3. What's your thoughts on that? 10 years later, 15 years later. You know what I mean? How would that have aged if it didn't have Spider-Man 1 and 2 behind it?
Well, it's hard because that film was a lot more self-contained. It only had one villain. It was all about, the origin is pretty much like half the film. Like when you start a sequel, you're like, right, what do I do? How do I start? That film, you know, they knew how to start it.
I'm more just meant from a quality perspective though. I'm just saying, like, I feel like 1 and 2 are so good. They just let 3 slide. It's like, 3's the bad one, but we still like it. If it was just Spider-Man 1 of the quality of 3, how do you think about it now?
Quality in terms of like
the plot's a bit of a mess.
Looks.
It still looks good. It's still fun to watch, but like elements are a bit messy. Plot lines don't resolve as well as they could.
I think people still would have liked it because it was like the first big live action movie Spider-Man, you know?
Yeah,
and it would have
true.
still looked cool no matter what. Like, him swinging around in the suit. Like, people would have still loved that film. And that film, number one, gets a little bit of hate from some people for being a bit corny.
My brother really hates it. He's really passionately against that movie. I'm like,
why?
It's all right. He just said it's not that good. He said it's corny. He says it doesn't look great. I think it's more because everyone really likes it. So he's saying like, it's not as good as you think. And maybe he's right. Maybe it's the nostalgia making you think it's really good.
Or maybe it's contrarian.
Perhaps. I had to ask him again his arguments. It was just stuff like, corniness mostly. Like it is corny. I watched it again recently. It is corny.
Yeah. But I like that. I like a corny comic book movie. It's a comic book movie. They're running around in costumes and fighting.
I guess to answer my question, I feel like Fantastic Four, the 2005 one, is about as good as Spider-Man 3. Would you argue that?
Okay, so you're like power scaling quality of movies.
Yes, but the Fantastic Four hasn't aged that well. Not that well. I think it looks good. I like it, but like it's not fondly in people's memories like Spider-Man 3 is.
Is it not?
I mean, when was the last time someone talked to you about Fantastic Four? Me, probably.
You, yeah. Well, recently, because the new film's coming out, it's actually got a bit of a buzz. People are like looking back at the old films, being like, "Oh, this one's great compared to this new slop coming out."
I watched both of them recently, and I was saying to you before the call, the first one's actually good. I think it's corny, it's silly. I don't know much about Fantastic Four, but I imagine it doesn't do too much honor to them. I'll ask you that in a minute. The second one is awful, like really, really bad. Like it's just sort of Jessica Alba has like dyed hair in it, like her hair's dyed blonde, and it looks like she's wearing a wig. I don't know what was going on, but they've been forgotten, and Spider-Man 3 has been remembered. Is that because it dishonors the Fantastic Four's legacy? Like, is it lore accurate, that film?
I just think people don't like Fantastic Four as much as they do Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is just infinitely more popular.
I mean, I can relate to all the themes in Spider-Man. I think because I haven't seen a good bit of Fantastic Four media, I couldn't even tell you what there is to connect to in that. Is that the thing?
Well, Fantastic Four is like not just that film, but like the whole franchise is like, including comics and everything. They're fighting universal, other dimensional threats, whereas Spider-Man is like on the street beating up muggers. Like he's got a much more relatable life than these rich people who have powers from space.
Oh, really? I really know nothing about Fantastic Four. Like aside from the rubbish movies. Well, I like them, but.
Do you not have a video coming out soon of the Fantastic Four?
What? Yeah, I do, yeah. But I mean, that's why I know only about that one movie, right? Like I watched that one, the second one, and I watched a bit of, honestly, I tried to watch Fantastic for that movie. For that video, sorry. It's such garbage. Like I skimmed through it basically and got all the bits I needed and was like watching it as I skimmed through it, watching scenes and stuff. It takes like an hour before they get their powers in Fantastic. Oh. Have you seen it?
No.
I thought you might have done it as like a fan. Like it takes like an hour before they get their powers, and then they get their powers and do nothing with it. Like nothing. They just like end up in a lab basically. And then Doctor Doom comes and fights them in the film ends. Like it's like it's actually, I don't know what went on with that movie. It's actually pretty terrible. How did I get to this?
We were talking about comparing like quality and nostalgia. You power scaled Fantastic Four 1 with Spider-Man 3.
Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Again, I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Okay. Well, like you say, maybe it's just that the characters aren't as relatable, or that the story isn't as good. Like, as in, like, the overall story of Fantastic Four isn't as good as the overall story of Spider-Man. It's
a bit of a disservice. That's a low-key a bit of a par at Fantastic Four. It's like, oh, you're only as good as Spider-Man 3. Like,
yeah, but it's not a great movie.
Near as good as Spider-Man 1 or 2.
It's not as good as Spider-Man 1 and 2. I think there's not much heart to Fantastic Four. Like, the only heart in Fantastic Four is that the Thing is quite a tragic character, isn't he?
Yeah.
But like, it's all just a bit unnecessary, the hate he gets in that. Like, Johnny Storm's just, is he like this in the comics? He's just a dick to the Thing. Like, is he like that in the comics?
Well, he's like cocky and like, he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of character.
But is he just a dick? Like,
a dick? I doubt it. I don't think he's like always like that.
Okay. Yeah, so like, I don't know, it feels like really manufactured. I've got to go to the toilet really badly. Can I come back? Okay, so overall, how would you rate Spider-Man 3 with our little rating system?
Overall, I'd honestly give Spider-Man 3 a 7 out of 10.
We have this discussion every time. Is this a true 7, or is this like
this is a true 7? I nearly said 8, but then I was like, wait, what about the first two? Like, what are they? If this is an 8, what are they? 9 and 10?
If I could press you now, what would you say? Yeah, what do you say 1 and 2 are? Off the top of your head. It doesn't have to be a definitive GT rating.
Number 2, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Number 1, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
You know, I don't want to be that guy, but I think I completely agree with all of that. Like, Spider-Man 2 is pretty perfect. I think there was one thing wrong with it when I watched it. I was like, oh, but I can't remember now. There's like one thing I thought, oh, that's
Then it doesn't matter if you can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And then, 1's a bit corny. It looks a bit funny in places. I feel like just the themes are better executed in 2. 3, stuff doesn't go as where it should. There's too many characters. It could have been a lot better. Yeah, 7 out of 10. I'd agree with that. I think it's a genuinely fair. Do you remember what we gave Pirates of the Caribbean? Was that a 10?
No, that was definitely not. I don't remember what we gave it, but it's definitely not a 10.
What did we give Minecraft? I think we gave Minecraft a 6. And like, there's no ways. The Minecraft, if Spider-Man 3 is a 7, Minecraft's like a 4. Let's be real.
Yeah. But we shouldn't be able to retroactively change our scores, I don't think. I think once we say we say it.
Maybe our millions of listeners could put this on a big Excel spreadsheet and then make a graph. We can see how
millions
accurate
of fans.
they are.
Well, they should also write down below what their thoughts are on Spider-Man 3 and what they would rank out of 10.
And also, what film would you like us to what film you'd like us to do next? I think we should do Fantastic Four, but we can actually have a little look.
Well, there's a couple been talked about today.
Well, because I'm about to drop, hopefully this week, a video on Fantastic Four, and I can say in the video, like, oh, we have Fantastic Four coming soon.
You know, like full in-depth opinion on Fantastic Four. Yeah, let's.
Oh,
okay.
maybe. No, maybe we'll do Fantastic Four. But then we should watch Fantastic if we do. And I don't want to do it.
I'm not doing that.
Well, I feel it's a better video if we watch Fantastic. I just don't want to.
That's literally torture.
We could watch it together. Do you want to record our reaction to Fantastic?
No, because then we're not going to pay attention.
That's true. Fair enough.
To all the themes and messages.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty good. I think we should wrap it up there then.
All right. Well, recently, hold on a second there, CGY.
Yeah.
Recently, you had a little bit of controversy, and I think we should talk about it.
Oh yeah. The whole plagiarism controversy.
The plagiarism thing.
You're trash, whatever that guy's name is. Yeah, I mean, just some guy stole my little video, and I tried to make a big expose on him, and I think I did quite well. Did you watch it in your busy little week?
I watched bits here and there. I know he stole from a lot of people.
Friend. Listen, we should give props to Mr. GT here. He's got a very busy week, and yet he makes the time every week to watch a movie and show up here and give his opinion. So I think he deserves a round of applause.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Please,
no, let's go back to talking about me now. Shut up.
All right.
Talk about me.
Okay.
You've had your moment. It's my turn. Sorry.
So, guys stole your video.
Some guy stole my video. It's still up, by the way. So I made an expose, and I also went through all of his other videos, and I found all the other ones I could find that were plagiarized. I made a big expose, and nothing happened. Nothing at all. They're still up. They're still there.
There's no justice in this world.
There's no justice in the world. I actually don't know what to do though. I filed a complaint with YouTube. Nothing happened. I guess it's going to stay there forever. The guy should take more of my videos. They're good.
Yeah, he should take this podcast.
No, this podcast isn't good enough to steal.
He just does like an AI translation over what we're saying.
Oh yeah. No, don't do that.
I did
take the good stuff.
I didn't watch your video, but I saw in the comments apparently a lot of Spanish YouTubers do this. This is a common thing.
Yeah, I went and looked into it, and apparently it's actually really Spanish plagiarism is a massive issue. Most Spanish YouTube is just English re-uploads. So I think that's why the video didn't get as much traction as I thought. I thought it would be like a big, I've exposed something, but I think people just sort of knew, and I was like, okay. But I think I have a grander point, which is you could, say you want to steal someone's video, like a written video like mine, you could just give it to an AI, have the AI rejiggle all of it, like change the script by like 15%, and then it's completely undetectable there's a clone. And no one's got any system for that in place yet. And so if I was like a dodgy little Spanish kid, that's what I'd be doing. I'd be getting big videos, given to an AI, don't do this. And yeah, you should just get away with it. And that's going to be a problem. I bet in 5 years' time, there's just going to be slop videos that are other people's videos that have just been rejiggled by an AI. Yeah. AI's found some pictures. Maybe you can train the AI to like watch the video, find similar images, put them in. Done.
Yeah, it's just going to become like fast food conveyor belt videos is what YouTube's going to become.
Could you make the argument that it already is?
Oh, well, at least people have to somewhat put some effort in. Soon it'll just be like AI generated, we put 1,000 people in a big vat of noodles. Whoever leaves first gets $2 million. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be fake. It's not going to be real.
I guess the good ending might be that people get sick of like these clean corporate videos and go back to more personal stuff. Because if AI can just generate 1 million clean videos, but one human can make one actually good video with soul, people might go back to watching that and put the you back in YouTube, which could be cool. I know, man. I know. I'm a deep thinker.
That was a bar. Yeah, man. I think people are gonna want to go back to organic, grass-fed videos rather than this mass-produced AI slop.
Yeah, I think that's true. Did I tell you? I don't think I've ever talked about the nostalgic thing. Maybe I'll say it for a different day.
I wanted to ask you about the comparisons between the fallout of these two massive drama videos.
No one cared about this one, which I think is because the last time it was a big guy stealing from a small guy. Now I'm the big guy and the small guy's stolen from me, but he's actually gotten a lot of use from it. But it's not the controversy that I thought it would be. You know what I mean? I thought people would be upset about the fact that
was it.
No, it's not. Listen, I shilled this podcast like 14 times during it. So you should be upset. Like, did you watch the ending?
No.
I shilled all I could. I'm going to shill in the Fantastic Four. Maybe we'll get 10 more audience members in it. No, I'm really grateful to everyone who came and looked at the podcast from that video and who watched the video.
Thanks, guys.
I wasn't expecting some big monumental David and Goliath style fallout. I more wanted people just to consider like the AI problem more than anything else, because I don't really care that some random Spanish guy stole my video. It's more that everyone else's stuff can now just be eaten by an algorithm, and that it's just the end. It's just the end, isn't it? Like,
it's scary.
That's all things, isn't it? If an AI can come along and eat it, it's just not good for anyone involved, and so there needs to be something in place to stop that. But then there's the argument that if you stop AI, where you're stopping innovation, right? So I really don't know what the answer is.
I guess using AI in different places and not in some other places.
I mean, yeah, but how do you regulate that? I guess, you know what I mean? It just becomes.
I don't know. A lot of people want to use AI in creative ways rather than in the ways it should be, which is doing all our work for us. Well,
I think AI is good for helping creativity. It's when it's when you can just steal. I mean, all of AI is based on plagiarism, right? It's just other people's work. That's like it's been trained on. And so the fact that people are now using this stolen AI to steal more stuff, I guess, isn't a surprise, right? Like, just a big mess.
I guess so. It's a shame. We'll see. In a few years, like, we may not even need to do this podcast. We could just put 2 bots on and do it for us.
Are our personalities so like generic and normal that we could just have a robot do it for us?
Oh, I don't know. We have some pretty interesting topics about Marvel movies.
It's another podcast where we talk about Marvel films. I mean, bloody hell! Like,
we're gonna do another Marvel film next time. No, let's take a break from Marvel films because
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, so like the nostalgic thing, I guess we can talk about it a different day because I actually have. That's like I stay in my little room making YouTube videos today, all right, all day. So the nostalgic thing is like the one big YouTube story I've got that's interesting. It actually has stuff happening in it and like people involved that you might have heard of and stuff. So we can save that for a different day. You know what I mean?
Save that.
But regarding this controversy, yeah, I mean, I guess I wish it got more views so the problem could be solved beyond like just me, right? Like it's annoying that his video's still up. That annoys me. But it's more annoying that all of his videos are still up. You know what I mean? Like there's now just an account that's a known spam account. I've proved it and just nothing's happened. It's just a bit sad, isn't it? Like it
is a shame.
That should at least be the end. That should be the end of it. But it's still there.
But like as we said, like it's a massive problem apparently within that community. What are they going to do? Delete every single channel? Like no, I think it's over. I feel like yeah, I guess so. I sort of thought like okay, if I sit down and go through the effort to identify the problem videos, cut them all together, put the proof in the video, get people to look at the video, that will solve the problem, and it didn't. And it's just like it's just I don't know, futile. Like what's the next step then? What can you do beyond this? If YouTube won't solve it, providing the proof to people won't solve it, it's just like, I'll just give up then. Just let it happen. Just let it run riot. Like I guess you could just say that like you could look at it like this, like that Spanish community, they're never going to watch your videos anyway because they don't speak English. So
true.
It's not actually taking much away from you.
Yeah, a lot of people said this in the comments. It's like, well, for a start, his video was like wrong about stuff. Like the visuals are all wrong. It wasn't like he made a good product, right? He just like put some crap visuals over it. So I mean, fair enough. I guess they probably still get 80% of the video. But a lot of people commented down below like, oh, well, why don't you just dub your videos in Spanish? And it's like, yeah, that is an option for me. Like, yeah, I could probably, I make enough money from the video to pay someone to dub in Spanish, to pay out in Spanish. But like, does the average person have that open to them? You know what I mean? I don't think it's a solution really.
Unless, you know, they could one day use AI to be like, it will do like a comment or something in your description saying, this video is taking a lot of, I don't know, ideas or lines or whatever from this video, and like it's enforced, so YouTube makes the AI say that. Like it's not like they have a chance.
There you go.
Choice.
That is a really good solution actually. But then the issue is then you have to have like an AI watch every video, figure out what it's saying, do a comparative analysis to the next video. You know what I mean? How many millions of computations is that? You know, to compare for the millions of YouTube videos out there.
True.
Like it's just so much. On the other hand, though, you upload a video to YouTube. It used to just like it would have like a rudimentary AI watch it and figure out if you swore or if like, there was nudity. Now it like watches the whole video with an AI and does like a bajillion calculations to figure out like if you're committing crimes, you're doing anything wrong. Like it properly watches it with an AI. So I mean, it's happening. It's there. They've got the information. So maybe.
Yeah, it could be done. The future is now.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess it's just I think if you did like a benefits analysis for YouTube, it's at the current moment, it's not worth it, right? Because it probably costs loads to run the AI to watch all the videos. And if they're just deleting other videos, then that's more money they're deleting, isn't it? That's viewers they're deleting. That's, you know what I mean? Like Spanish people are watching the Spanish video. It's good for YouTube. It's in YouTube's interest to keep that video up. However, if, let's say I give up YouTube because all my videos get taken, then I'm not making videos and then no one can take those videos, so they're not making videos. And if 100 people do that, that's like 200 less videos.
That's like a food chain, like an ecosystem. Like
yeah, exactly. Like it's just going to sort of fall apart, isn't it? So like, but I don't think businesses think like this. I think they think very short-minded, right? They're like, it's not a problem now. We'll deal with it in the future if it becomes a problem. But it could totally wipe out their platform if they're not careful.
It could. I mean, it's full of a lot of slop anyway, so.
True. The big fish will always survive. But I think the mid to small fish might give up and then you have a problem. But on the other hand, YouTube always has this thing where it's like, well, where else are you going to go? Like where else are you going to go? It's actually true. Like there's nowhere else you can go. Well, Rumble. You're going to go to Rumble. Like, no, they'll just eat my video on Rumble and steal it. Like, it's a good point. Like, it's, a lot of these tech giants have this power now. I'm just like, well, screw you.
They have the monopoly.
Videos, here's the place.
Yeah.
Monopoly. It's basically a monopoly, isn't it?
It sucks, but I think it's working out for you.
What's up?
It sucks, but I think it's working out for you anyway.
What do you mean, YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube has a lot of silly things going on. I could probably criticize YouTube for a while.
We could do that another time, another topic.
CGY
segment. Why we hate YouTube. Oh, YouTube exposed.
I actually have a lot of I have a lot of positive things to say about YouTube and a lot of negative things. I think the algorithm's too restrictive, and a lot of the people I speak to on YouTube say the same thing. Like, I made a video, for example, this video got around 5k views in a few days, which is like quite unusual for my channel. And it's because it was something outside of my niche, outside of my bubble, outside of the audience's interest. And if YouTube just notices that, it's like, okay, we're not going to show anyone this video then. Sorry, your core audience doesn't care. It's over. And it's like, oh, why? Like, can you not like push it a bit further? Like, it kind of really limits.
Your lane.
It limits. It's limiting art, isn't it? Is what that's doing. Like, yeah. I'm not saying my videos are art at all, but like someone who's trying to make artistic videos that appeal to like different people in different groups, they just get locked into a niche. And I don't think that benefits anyone. Like, and I think that's leading to the corporatization of the platform, because once you gather your audience who like your stuff, you just have to keep making more of that stuff, which is working in my case, but I imagine people who genuinely want to make creative things are getting quite limited.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to really be liked for you and not for your content. Like, that's the main thing, I think. It's like, if you like the person, you'll see them do anything.
That's true. That is really true. Yeah, but people who, let's just say you make video essays like me, you're kind of suddenly locked into just that, because that's what they like you for. But yeah, you made a good point there. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're going to change what you do anytime soon. Like CGY, like, you're pretty locked in, mate. You've done that to yourself.
I'm enjoying doing it. I guess I wish there was a bit more wiggle room, because I would still make visual effects stuff and film stuff and all this stuff. But I think I'd just take more risks and be more artistic with it and have a lot more fun if I knew the algorithm would give me a safety net. But it doesn't. It doesn't. It literally tells you, by the way. It's like, it's so brutal. You can look at it. I'll tell you how your video's doing compared to like your last 10. It'd be like, your video is 10 out of 10. It's failing because of this. It's failing because your core audience isn't watching it. It's like, thanks YouTube.
Wow. I mean, I guess it's trying to help.
I'll find a picture. Yeah, I mean, it's trying to help, but it's like brutal. And on the other hand, it's so terrible for your brain, because the other way around, if it's doing well, it's like, yeah, you're doing well. You're so great. Go you. And if it's doing badly, it's like, no, mate, sorry. It's not happening for you today. It's like, okay, great. Thanks for that, YouTube. Appreciate it.
Damn.
Yeah, anyway, that was me ranting about YouTube.
The big rant.
Spiderman, it's good.
Spiderman good, YouTube bad. You heard it here.
Oh nah, YouTube okay. YouTube got a problem. YouTube is building its own corporate grave, I feel like, and it needs to just chill out a bit, man. Or some genius needs to make the fun YouTube. That's the other side of it. If someone could make like fun personality YouTube, I think you could make a lot of money.
Another YouTube is never gonna happen. Sorry.
Potentially.
I think all the media platforms are set. There's not going to be another Twitter. There's not going to be another Instagram. There's not going to be another Twitch. They try.
What was the last big one? Well, didn't Kick do quite well? They had like $1 billion behind it, but it did quite well. Do you know Kick?
It did all right, but it's not Twitch. Like, it's just.
Is it not? I thought they were rivaling each other quite nicely.
I think a little bit, but it's
just not going to happen. I think it had like Saudi gambling money behind it. So like, there's so much money to make sure that Kick works. It has to. I think you're right. There's no longer. I don't think there'll be a grassroots platform for a while. It's going to have to be a Meta releases something new, or someone super famous releases something new, right? Or someone buys something new, like Elon Musk did. I don't think we're going to have It's a cute little social media company that grew up from the ground. Like yeah,
yeah. There's not going to happen.
Well. I think we went off topic from our positivity goal there, but yeah,
that's all right. We got real.
Guys, there's going to be moments like this.
Guys, we are real. We're unfiltered.
Oh, that's why people subscribe to. It's why all 40 people who watch this podcast are.
And I love all 40
subscribed. Yeah, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's wrap it up.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers for watching, everyone. Bye.
Bye.